We do not begin this path by winning. We begin by losing comfort, praise, distraction, illusion, and in their place, silence. Discipline is not loud. It does not beg to be seen. It does not feed on recognition, but ego does. And ego is always hungry. It will whisper that you are ready. It will tell you that the others are behind, that the work is beneath you, that your name deserves to echo. But we do not walk for echo. We walk for clarity. And clarity demands that something dies. If you wish to control others, you must first control yourself. Miyamoto Musashi. Control begins where the ego ends. That's the first cut. Not outward, but inward. Not with the blade, but with breath. You kill the need to be seen, the need to win, the need to be someone, because anything that must be defended will always be in danger. You cannot move cleanly while holding an image. You cannot act freely while guarding a reputation. You cannot respond perfectly if you need to be remembered. So we train until we disappear, until the motion is pure, until the thought no longer lingers, until what we are is simply readiness. Do nothing which is of no use. Musashi. The ego is always excess. It speaks too soon, moves too often, demands too much. Cut it. Cut it with silence, with the repetition no one sees, with the mornings that begin in darkness, with the drills that end after the body has already quit. We are not sharpening the weapon. We are sharpening the self. Because in battle the one who survives is not the loudest, but the most composed. The mind must always be in the state of flowing, for when it stops anywhere, that means the flow is interrupted, and it is this interruption that is injurious to the well-being of the mind. Takuan Sōhō. The ego interrupts. It grips the mind. It clings to outcome. It stalls the hand. So we cut it again. Not once, but endlessly, because it always returns. New voice, new shape, same weight. It waits behind praise. It waits in victory. It waits in the mirror after success. And it will ride your shoulder into combat if you let it. It will cause you to hesitate, to doubt, to swing wide. And when that moment costs you everything, it will vanish and leave you hollow. So we leave it first. We bury it in training. In sweat, no one praises. In corrections, no one applauds. In the long walk back after failure, where no one is waiting and the only voice is the one asking if you'll return again tomorrow. A warrior is worthless unless he rises above others and stands strong in the midst of a storm. Code of the Samurai. Strength is not noise, it is presence. It is stillness when others shake. It is precision when others panic. It is humility in power and silence in victory. The ego wants to be the storm, but the warrior stands within it. We do not resist what comes. We let it pass through us. Because we have trained our center. Because we have killed the impulse to defend what does not matter. Let them insult. Let them doubt. Let them roar. You hold your form. You breathe. You wait. And when the moment is right, you move. Not with pride, not with rage, but with necessity. To subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill. Sun Tzu. Sometimes that enemy is across from you. Sometimes it is within you. The true path is to win without war, to act without aggression, to dominate nothing but the self. And that kind of power cannot be faked. It does not live in words. It is earned, step by step, rep by rep, in the dark, in the fire, in the moments when no one claps and no one calls. There is no crowd here, only us, the ones who chose the quiet road, the ones who stopped performing, the ones who trained past comfort, the ones who gave up the right to be seen, so that we could see clearly. You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. Musashi. But only one path removes the self, and that is the one we follow, without expectation, without decoration, without ego. You do not need to look strong when you are strong. You do not need to explain your discipline when it is felt in every breath. You do not need to prove your control when your stillness speaks louder than words. So we keep sharpening, not to rise, but to refine, not to fight, but to see, not to conquer, but to remain untouched. Let others chase the spotlight. Let them armor themselves with names and titles and noise. We choose silence. We choose the slow path. We choose form that holds under fire, and breath that stays steady even when the hands bleed. Because we know the ego will kill you long before the enemy does, and so we kill it first, in the silence, in the repetition, in the refusal to break, in the refusal to show, in the refusal to make this about us. We bow, we train, we cut what is false, and we walk on, without a name, but with a form that cannot be shaken.